cheeseburger, oil, AR-15. Do any of these words stimulate you? If so, you might be an American. If you are, I'm sure you'll know why I'm uploading this today. If you aren't, you still might know why I'm uploading this video today. That's because today isn't a normal day, not at all. Today is a special day. There's quite a long and interesting history behind it, but I'll summarize it pretty quickly here. So, a long time ago, like at least a century ago, there were these two groups of people, right? I'm gonna need to replace some of the terms used here as people on the internet shit their pants at politics. So there are these guys who we'll just be calling the bean on toasters, right? And they send out this other group of guys on a big trip to some faraway land, right? And then they tell the guys they're sending over to go set up a little town or some shit, I don't know, and then to give a bunch of the stuff they find and produce over to the bean on toasters. This goes on for a little bit, but after a while, the people in this colony get kind of pissed off. They're all like, well, blimey, these guys sure want a lot of the stuff we got here, I swear on me mum. Then they get the good idea to declare independence so they can stop talking like this, among other benefits. And they're all like, alright, y'all, I think it's time we became our own country. And the rest of them are like, hell yeah, brother, woo-wee, let's get it done. A lot of fighting happens between these guys, who I'll call the Freedomers, and the aforementioned bean on toasters. Anyways, after a long and gory conflict, the Freedomers gained independence and established themselves as their own country. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how tomato ketchup and guns were invented. Now, we honor the individuals that put their buns on the line for this country by getting shit-faced and setting things on fire on the 4th of July each year. You see, I live in Oregon, and the government says it's not safe to set explosive things on fire for entertainment purposes with the extreme heat and dry weather everywhere. So much for freedom, am I right, fellas? Luckily, using state-of-the-art computer technology, we can simulate this time-honored tradition with a very easily acquired, not-at-all-niche and unwieldy VR headset with the right software. So you can kind of consider this a guided tour of American culture, as well as a tour of the video game hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. That's kind of why I chose it for this video. It's got guns, it's got things blown up, it's got hot dogs, it's got barbecues. I really can't think of anything more synonymous with US culture than those things. So you boot up the game and there's this big text saying, hey jackass, play this first, and it's referring to this mode. It's a guided tour of a few different kinds of armaments. You start off with high explosives first, which is a bit odd, as I assume you'd save that for last, but whatever. But hey, look at this. Exploding bananas, exploding hot dogs, exploding baseball, nope, okay, that's a normal baseball. I swear I'm not this bad at baseball in real life, it's just, you know, it's harder here. Is someone keeping track of my head's bad in here? Bang! Yeah, second is the pistols. This is the M1911. You're probably going to be seeing this a lot in this video. Fun America fact, this thing is the US Army service pistol of choice for over 7 years. I'm not a gun nerd. I don't really get why people obsess over it. Doesn't look cool and hold a lot of bullets like the Zip 22 can, and it doesn't even have an underbarrel grenade launcher or support drum magazines. I think this is kind of a case of mass hysteria where one person just convinces a bunch of others to go with them. Most of the weapons you're going to see in the sampler platter are ones famous from movies and other pieces of media. I think it's a pretty fitting introduction because you're probably just here to recreate scenes from movies and stuff. Like, if you have access to the internet or watch things on TV, you've seen this revolver. You see, this revolver was actually invented by Valve for the Half-Life series of games. It just ended up getting so popular, they actually made it a real thing. Okay, sorry, you probably don't believe that I'm not a gun nerd at this point with how much I know about this stuff, but I'm just kind of aware of these things. And then third is the
soup station.
You're gonna look over to the left and be like, oh man, that's a Tommy gun, and you will have most likely loaded and begun firing it indiscriminately in front of you. Don't worry, that's what's supposed to happen. You didn't do anything wrong. However, you should be ashamed of yourself if you find yourself instinctually saying something like, say hello to my little friend, because that's, come on, I mean, you should know better than that, that's just way too cliche. You got a shotgun to the right and a bunch of different types of ammo, but we're just going to be exclusively using the Freedom Fetty shells, as we're here to celebrate after all. And hey, check this out, one-handed. Badass, right? Look, I can flip it, too. And here's me firing it upside down. And yes, I am going to be playing that bald eagle noise every time I say the phrase Freedom Fetty. Fourth, we got 2 rifles for this zone, and I'm actually pretty good with this one, turns out. Look, I'm talking over this footage, so you can see, like, look at that. That was one take. I didn't edit that together. That was natural, baby. The second one is a modern one. It comes with a bunch of attachments to slap on, and obviously we're gonna put all these on it. And now you'll look at it and think, wow, look at that really ugly gun. I have nothing else to say about it. It's a travesty, not even practical, it's just ugly. But you know what's really cool? This minigun I found laying around. Check it out, one-handed. So, yeah, I think I got the hang of this by now. I guess you could even say that I'm locked in. Hey y'all, my ex-great-granduncle, twice removed, recently passed away, and I inherited this sweet-ass, big-ass, sand-filled warehouse he had for some reason. I think there were drugs hidden beneath the sand or something. I don't know. More interestingly, though, he's got, like, 300 guns in here, just scattered across the ground. Like, look at this one. I think it's over 2 centuries old. And this appears to be a homing missile launcher of sorts. And then there's... Okay, maybe he had some issues, but still, isn't this sweet? This is the corner with all the massive swords. I don't know why I didn't store any of these anywhere, but whatever. Anyways, I figured I'd try some of these out. It's not like he's gonna be needing them anymore. Now, one thing you're gonna notice pretty early on is how fun everything is to use in this game. Like every action feels satisfying. Listen to that click. I'm not going to spend too long going on about how well the game simulates all the parts working or how good the sensations are, as that'll be pretty obvious to you as the video goes on if it isn't already. You know, I really don't understand why we invented fidget toys when we have these. They got such a good sense of weight. You know, I know some people say they're dangerous, but... Man, I really made a mess of this place. Hold on, what in the world is this thing? I think I have a good idea. It might seem a bit weird to have the first big game mode showcase of this video be a recreation of a different game, but whatever. YouTube audience retention stuff, there haven't been enough explosions for the past few scenes, we need to draw the viewer base back in. That's better. Team Fortress 2. If you're familiar with online video games, you've probably seen or heard of it at some point. And you know what? The mercenaries in Team Fortress 2 are actually pretty good with guns, believe it or not. Try looking through the scope and staying as still as the sniper does, or doing that spinny reload thing that the scout does. Everything is a bit harder to do in VR. Loading rockets into your launcher while flying through the air might be a trivial act in Team Fortress 2, but it takes quite a bit of precision here. And speaking of which, while not too accurate to how it works in Team Fortress 2, rocket jumping is still present in here, and it works pretty well. The first time you rocket jump, it'll probably be like this. Oh! Luckily, I've already got my VR legs, so this isn't an issue for me. And you might be thinking, Autumn, isn't this supposed to be fun? Why do you need to build up a tolerance to this fun thing you're doing for entertainment? And well, to that I say, I don't know. But man, when you're used to it, really fun. You're thinking, I am a god of the skies. I fly across the Badlands with grace and lethality. Nobody is safe from being unmade with my rocket launcher, but you're actually just kind of standing dumb in your room like this. I am so cool. Most of the weapons here needed to be adapted a bit to work with this game's mechanics. If you're observant and or understand how these kinds of things work, you'll probably notice some oddities with the TF2 weapons. Here's how the scattergun works in Team Fortress 2. Notice that despite being lever action, the next round is always ready to be fired without any input. Shells aren't inserted either, and they're ejected with the lever. Obviously, this wouldn't work with H3VR's mechanics. The grenade launcher's been buffed as it holds 6 rounds as opposed to the normal 4. That's a 50% increase, fun fact, in case you couldn't do the math. Good luck hitting anyone with it, though. Landing direct hits is hard, and this is with 2 eyes. Entirely sober as well, so. There are also a bunch of full unique weapons to Meat Fortress not seen anywhere else, believe it or not. Some of these are more general, like a TF-205 M1911, amongst other pistols and some general service rifles. New bomb launchers, new rocket launchers, more stuff for the sniper, hell, even new rockets to fire at people. I just hope we get Girardi at some point. The damage is a little bit consistent with how it normally would work. At times, a lot of enemies take 1 or 2 rockets from the launcher before blowing up, but weapons like the pistol can do serious damage to the SOSIGs from ranges far beyond what would normally work in TF2. See that? That'd have done like 8 damage normally. He's just like dead now. With that being said, they are all still very fun to use. The original sounds being present definitely helps with that, though. The grenade launcher still goes. The rockets still go. The bottle still goes. But wait, something's missing. The crit sounds. Look at this hot dog's head explode. Doesn't it feel wrong without the ding noise? Horrible. And you know what? I would have been hearing that sound a lot more than I would normally, as I'm actually alright at hitting these shots at times. Failings. You know who has failings? Blokes that cook their hot dogs in boiling water on the stove. Professionals have standards. Be polite. Be efficient. Have a plan to beat all the meat you see. All in all, I think TF2 works better as a flat video game. Not to say that Meat Fortress 2 is bad, but man is it a lot more physically intense than the average match you'd have on a flat screen game. Also, here's a fun fact. In the iconic Meet the Heavy video, the Heavy says this.
She weighs 150 kilograms and fires $200 custom tool cartridges at 10,000 rounds per minute. It costs $400,000 to fire this weapon for 12 seconds.
In 2024, that's equal to $3,604,000 US. Fun fact. Okay, maybe that's not a fun fact, but...
Sir, what's your opinion of that? Sir, what's your opinion on the hashtag Save Meat Fortress ongoing movement? Hello? Hi, what? I'm getting a call from me, Dade. Y'all are tougher than horsemen. Hi, hello. Oh, hold on. What's your opinion of the Save? What's your opinion of the Save Meat Fortress trend? Bastard, listen to me. Hi. What's your opinion on the Save Meat Fortress trend? I'm going around interviewing people to see what people think of the movement. Would you mind telling me what's going on? Well, there you have it. That's been a well, there you have it. This has been Phil, Phil from Hog News. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm a little bit sad we didn't get anybody else to respond, but it's, tough times, I know. So, yeah, thanks for showing up. This has been a great learning opportunity. I'm glad to be here. Anyways, make sure to come back. Make sure to come back next time for our exclusive interview on why the USDA scam. Until then, this'll be it. Thank you.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
Hey guys, welcome back to Long Dog Johnson Hot Dog Gun Reviews. Today we I'm gonna be completely honest here with y'all. I have no clue what the hell this thing is. Turns out the best way to get Americans to do exercise is to put a VR kit on their head, a Glock 20 in their right hand, and a few spare magazines in their left. Supposedly, this scene is a proof of concept for grab-style locomotion, something that has since been thankfully not the main form of movement in H3 VR. Conceptually, I like this mode. Move around with poles on ledges, shoot targets, press buttons, cool. But pretty quickly you'll begin to see just how basic the grab-based movement really is. It's still used in the game for things like ladders, grapple ropes, and other climby things, and for that it works well. But it's definitely not something to base an entire game around. I'd compare the physics to how it works in Boneworks, but I feel that would be an unnecessary and privileged comparison to make. Keep in mind, this is just a proof of concept, and it was made probably back in 2016 or 17, very early on into H3 VR's development. It gets tiring quickly. You'll be climbing all kinds of different shapes of things to grapple on, but it really doesn't feel much different from one set piece to another.
Man, I wish I had the body strength to do this in real life. I used to, probably, back when I was like 10 or so, before I became extremely out of shape and lonely. I'm in good shape now, but I'm still lonely. I think it feels worse.
Turns out the Gymnasium has emotionally damaging properties. Oh well. It took me 13 minutes to get to the top, shoot all the targets, and press all the buzzers. I fell down a few times, and I'll admit I might have unknowingly cheated a bit. There are a few segments where it really looks like you need to stop holding something and walk across the environment, so I did, only to later realize that I was supposed to grab onto a ledge and climb around that way. Then, once I was done, I had to find the finish line. I thought, cool, but then I was like, where's the finish line? And I couldn't find it. I walked around a bunch looking for a big checkerboard line, and there was none. I went back to the final 5 buzzers I made it to and pressed them all again, thinking one would stop the timer. None of them did that. I went back to the start once, and then twice. I reread the rules. Make it to the finish line. I thought maybe this guy on the sign was the finish line. I shot him a bunch, he was not the finish line. But it was still cathartic to take out my aggression on something, I'll admit. So then I went back to the top again, and I found it! It was this green button, actually. I immediately finished the course, took off my headset, and then sat down to use the restroom for the first time in 5 days. I blame that for my mental fog. I can say with relative certainty that I will most likely not be returning to the Gymnasium anytime soon. You know, I'm actually quite fond of skee-ball. Replace your standard goal holes with some destructible small-scale buildings, sub out your standard balls with enough explosives to stage a moderate-sized coup, and that's boom ski, baby. There's actually a bit more to this than normal skee-ball beyond all the grenades. Here are the most notable changes. 1. The balls are all now grenades. 2. Your goal is to destroy things instead of landing in certain spots. 3. You receive new grenades for reaching certain amounts of score. Those are most of the big changes. Onto the game itself, you might notice the boom ski range is massive compared to the standard skee ball cabinet. It's a wide area with most of the area in front of you able to be reached by throws. Additionally, it's now 3 rows tall. That's partially because you're using high-yield explosives, but it also serves some other purposes for the game. Grenades receive a boost in momentum when hitting the arrows right before the ramp. You can do the standard underhand throw this way, or simply chuck grenades at the target's overhand, or overhand throw into the boost arrows for a crazy boost to help you reach the highest tier of targets. Different grenades have different fuse times, weights, and blast radii. All this information is displayed at the info screen in the front of the range.
Here's one of my favorite features. Look, wait. Pull the pin on the grenade. Throw it as soon as you load the scene and see if the blast occurs first, or the scene load. Oh, and the blast occurred first. Yes, boom ski, because traditional skee ball You know, I always thought it was a bit lame that it didn't come with a chance of dismemberment and death. This fixes that. Okay, that wasn't a great start. That was also a bad throw. There. See? Okay, alright. I still got it. See, when you've got one like... Hold on, I need to make sure I'm not going to hit anything. I just threw it on the floor. Okay, alright, okay. Like I was saying, now, you can... I don't like doing underhand throws, because I'm right up against the wall, right? And if I were to go too far back... I don't know if you can hear that, but that's me hitting my blinds. So we're just gonna kind of half-ass it. What? Oh, well, okay, hold on, what? You don't need to worry about that in normal skee-ball unless you're exceptionally bad at it. Smoke grenades. These ones aren't great. Okay. I take that back. I take that back. So I think... Oh, that was horrible. Okay. Aim for the gold trophies if you're looking for points. But try hitting large amounts of... Try hitting large amounts of props if you want more things to throw. This kind of reminds me of what happened to my aunt last Thanksgiving. God rest her soul. That one's for you, Gertrude. I do really like throwing things. Throwing things is fun. It's like some guy thought, man, I really like throwing things. It's so much fun. And then someone said, how can we make it more fun? And they made these funny little things with gunpowder in them and a fuse. And they said, let's throw these. And that man was... Albert Einstein. That's enough boomski.
As far back as I can remember, most likely my whole life, I have always dreamed of one day being able to fulfill my fantasy of walking into a 2-story apartment full of sentient, massive hot dogs and throwing pencils at them till they die. Today, that dream comes true. Well, not really. The dream came true 4 or so days ago when I recorded this footage, but my point still stands. The breaching proto is, well, a prototype scene where you breach a building. It came out many years ago and didn't get a true successor until quite recently, but we'll save that for later. And to this game's credit, throwing pencils at enemies until they die is possible in every scene that features both enemies and an item spawner. But this is a great place to experiment with it. Despite being a prototype, it's quite fun. You can definitely tell it's an early mock-up with the entire scene taking place on a floating concrete island with few decorations besides a few boxes and the occasional picnic table. But if you're walking around criticizing the decor, you're absolutely playing the game wrong. Get shooting, damn it! Aside from the previously mentioned boxes, you got a few different kinds of things to shoot. The 3 options in the levels menu are IPSC targets, destructible SOSIC targets, and live, breathing, murderous sausages. From there, you shoot the things you spawn in. Pretty simple, right? Also have noted the destructible targets found across the map that honestly look spring-loaded because of how much force they fly apart with when disturbed in the slightest. Obviously, there are a lot of different ways you can play through this. You've probably noticed my Spec Ops training footage playing in the background, featuring some advanced level weapon handling techniques. But hey, check this out. You can also play through this scene against live opponents with a double-barrel shotgun. Or an M60. Or a power drill. But obviously the katana. And that is where the beauty of this mode lies. You can play smart, you can keep your weapon ready and try and get a good score during a timed attempt to shoot all the targets. But you can also walk in and beat people to death with a body pillow, which is worth a lot more in my opinion. Design-wise, the place isn't great to run through, but it was also apparently based off the lead dev's apartment, so I'm not going to criticize it. It's a very primitive scene, yes, but it's still great fun to play through and goof off with weapons in.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
Howdy everyone! Long Dog Johnson Hot Dog Gun Reviews back here again. Today is a special day. As you may or may not know, I recently set up my P.O. Box. That stands for pork only, by the way. Just kidding. Like I was saying, it's been a few weeks since then. Today I'd like to go over fan mail I've received since then. Alright, coming up first is this. This is the first fan firearm we've received yet.
Subscribe
Hey,
for
with a
more
note
high-quality
reading, "Hey,
content.
Johnson, I'm a big fan of your videos. I've recently been getting into homemade firearms as a hobby over the summer since I'm not occupied with 5th grade anymore, and I felt like you'd like one. I hope you have some fun with it. Thanks, Francis Baked Bean." First off, wow! This is impressive work, especially for someone who's about to enter middle school. The open bolt design is a classic, and I love the creativity with the screwdriver foregrip. Very ergonomic.
Make
Thanks,
sure to
Francis.
smash that
On
subscribe
to the
button
next
and join
package.
the floppy army.
Alright, this one
New
appears to be
videos weekly.
a homemade explosive device. It also came with a note, so let's read it. If you're reading this along with the package I sent you, you're one of the few people I've chosen to help me. If so, then you're aware of how much has been taken from us. If people aren't willing to listen to us, we'll make sure they all hear it through our weapons and bombs. It's time we finally do what we were meant to do all this time. Okay, so those are our 2 pieces of fan mail for this episode. Thanks to everyone that sent in things. Remember to check the description of this video for more information on how you can contribute to the channel. Thanks for all the support. Things have been really bad since my wife died during our DIY Tannerite experiment video, but this all helps me through these hard times. Alright everyone, see y'all next time, and stay floppy!
Subscribe for more high-quality.
Now, dear viewer, I'd like to apologize for what you're about to witness. Something so vile, so aggravating, so unbelievably shocking. My absurdly shaky hands. To those of you that are expressing concern rather than anger right now, I promise I'm fine. I'm just underfed, dehydrated, terrible at getting good sleep, and on a diet consisting of nothing but granola bars and sun chips. I promise it's not a medical condition or anything else serious. I am also quite sensitive to sunlight, but I think I brought that on myself through this lifestyle of mine. Either way, let's get moving through this demonstration before I pass out or start seeing mirages of things like Cinnabon out in the distance. This range was developed along with the total overhaul of the game's scope systems, and looking out into the distance, you can see why. In front of the tower are targets set up in bunches, ranging in distance from 100 meters to 1 kilometer. Now, that is not to say that these are the only targets. There are many, many more. I just have not found them yet. Supposedly they're dotted around the map and can be as far as 4 kilometers away. Yeah, that's not happening. Oh, I also have poor eyesight when it comes to making out details in objects more than 8 feet in front of me. That's also a detriment here. So anyways, I brought up a few pounds of gun and got started shooting at the things laid out in front of me. For starters, I brought up a shotgun and a high-caliber, long-barreled pistol to test the waters with. The shotgun worked surprisingly well for hitting targets at over 100 meters away. On the other hand, the pistol I brought, I wasn't too fond of its sight, so I brought something to attach to it to make up for my own body working against me. While you might think it primitive, you'd be surprised at how much this can help. Well, it magnifies things. Now the melon is larger, and I consider that a success. It functions, I guess. Just don't be surprised if you get weird looks should you bring this to some sort of tactical operation. It's also a bit hard to conceal once it's been fully deployed, but hey, after 20 or so shots, I actually managed to blow the stupid little thing's innards across the range. Nice try, dumbass, but you're gonna need to try a little harder if you wanna best me. I spent the next couple minutes just lounging around, and by lounging around I mean firing heavy weapons indiscriminately into the endless desert surrounding me. It's quite therapeutic on top of being a great escape from all that bothers you in life. Unless you're bothered by tinnitus, or loud sounds, being alone in a massive environment, or sand. But hey, that's what suppressors are for. I had fun, but I was fully aware of the fact that I was just distracting myself from my ultimate goal. 1 kilometer. It's 500 meters. Times 2. Or 250 meters. times 4. It depends on your philosophy. But philosophy isn't what matters here. What matters is that I will hit one of those 3 guys right over the... Hold on. Sorry, it's a bit hard to find what you're trying to shoot through a scope at this magnification level. Especially in an environment with pretty much nothing to use as reference. Yeah, okay, this isn't gonna work. We need to bring out my special strategy. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now we can... No, I'm just kidding. This is dumb as hell. I'm taking this off. Now, one thing you need to realize is that your view on a computer screen is much clearer than the view I have through my HMD. It probably looks small to you. It's small to me as well, but a bit different. Here's a mock-up image of what that looks like to me. Notice that the thing I'm trying to shoot is roughly 10 pixels in mass total.
I think that's it.
Hey, there we go. Look at that! He's missing his bottom half. I did that. From over there. I was on that thing, and I shot at this guy, and the bullet went woo! And hit him all the way over here. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm done here. Time to fly away. Hold on, is that a Cinnabon? No, that's a fountain. Sorry for washing so long. I've got OCD. Ordnance craving disorder. Yeah, it's time to leave. Hey y'all, before we continue, I'd like to thank y'all for the recent support of my channel ever since I inherited all these guns from a deceased family member. Now, you might be wondering, what happened to the warehouse? Well, turns out there was illegal drugs beneath the sand. The government seized it out of fear of anything dangerous landing in the wrong hands. Thankfully, they didn't take away any of my guns or high explosives. Anyways, this is gonna be a bit different than normal. I'd like to introduce y'all to someone that's been helping me a lot through these past few months. Here she is! That's right, I got one of them Dakimukuros, whatever they are, and a lot of people think this is weird. They say, don't you think it's weird to be into humans? And people are calling me a fleshy, but I say she's not real, so it don't matter to me. I'm just not attracted to hot dogs anymore, really. I guess it makes me a bit of a societal outcast. But things have been good. She makes the nightmares go away. What? I swear to God, Harold, you couldn't even have gotten out of your bed to tell me this? You're just gonna call me? No, I am not checking outside. Hot dogs can't move. Take your Grill House XL. Not only is the building larger than the previous one, it's part of an entire outdoor compound to play in. I thought the breaching proto was great, and then I played this. And that's when I realized what true greatness is. The breaching proto lets you spawn geyser targets inside the building. This lets you do that and oh so much more. Here, take a look at this tablet. You see all those options? I love options. I think I might be boring. But whenever I buy a new game program or device, my first instinct is to go through all the settings and customize everything to my liking. But that's probably the result of some childhood trauma or something. Anyways, let's go over a few of these options. Spawn guards in. This, obviously, is the most basic of the options. As the title would imply, it spawns a certain number of guards inside the building of your choice. You can actually keep pressing the spawn button and the previously spawned guards won't disappear. It's something that's going to be very important later in this video. But before we put guards inside and raid the building, let's scope out the place first. Ah yes, doors. New map feature. Fun fact, doors are actually quite hard to program in games for a number of reasons. I don't know why, so I'm not gonna explain. Anyways, let's find an appropriate tool to blast this thing open with. The spa's 12. Spas 12? Spaz 12? Whatever. It's the only gun that's name might be confused for a slur. You're also probably familiar with this one, as it's one of the, if not the only gun I think Hatsune Miku has ever been officially depicted using. If you're boring, you probably know it from an inferior piece of media like the Half-Life series or Fear. What the... What the hell won't it open? God, just... Okay, seriously, what is wrong with this? Oh. It's a push door, not a pull door. So yeah, doors, they're cool. Push them out or pull them in depending on which one you're using. Find the keys to unlock them, go from the other side, shoot the lock, blow off its hinges, or shatter it as a whole. It's not a mechanic that's going to be seen often in this game, but it's rare to see so much effort and detail be put into a feature like this, so I just felt the need to showcase it and praise the developers for taking the extra time to do something cool like this in the game. The layout of the main building is much more spacious and fun to traverse than the Breaching Proto's building. The hallways are wider, the rooms are less cramped, it has better lighting in every room, and the aforementioned doors appear in multiple places. Just like the original, you can go on top of the building and find alternate entry points on the second floor, but now there are a couple ways to get in from the bottom floor as well. You know what's even cooler than doors to enter through, though? Windows. Yes, we are doing that bit again. Much like the Breaching Proto, you can play through this building a bunch of different ways. If you're willing to spend the extra time setting things up, one of my favorite ways to play through this is to preload and scatter a bunch of guns and melee weapons around the building to cycle through as you make your way through the place. Animal masks not included. None of the other buildings are as large, but they all have their uses as well. Let's go through the rest of these SOSIG spawning options. Spawn Attack 2 lets you spawn enemies that'll run towards and attack the building you have selected. Oh, it's the feds! Might take a while for the ops to arrive, since they can spawn from pretty much every part of the map, but the suspense is part of the fun. Spawn Patrol Around lets you spawn a patrol of enemies around a building. Keep in mind you don't need to be in the building you're spawning enemies around. This can be used for situations where you want to fight your way out of a building, pick off enemies outdoors, or do an infiltration type mission. Home defense training. Alright, home defense training. Home secured. The final one is Spawn Snipers Aiming At. It's also quite self-explanatory. You can hide inside a building and try to take out all the enemies from inside, or you can run to the rooftop and fire rockets at all who dare oppose you from the top of a really, really tall building. You can also grab a conventional long-range rifle to use as well. Now, you can go anywhere, remember that. Spawns are based around certain areas, but you can absolutely run around the whole map like a maniac. Spawn guards in each building and sneak through the entire compound, put snipers everywhere, and try to run around the entire map without getting all your parts shot off, roleplay being a hitman, whatever. The possibilities are near endless here. With that being said, this is absolutely, 100% undoubtedly my favorite scene in the entire game. Whether you're sneaking through buildings, fighting your way out of enemy territory, having a sniper duel across the map, or camping out in a single building with an MLG as dozens of people run at you, it's great! Anyways, right now I should probably get to the final portion of the video, but I got some random footage and bits I couldn't fit in anywhere else, so I'm just gonna run those real quick. Hey y'all, welcome back to Long Dog Johnson Hot Dog Gun Reviews. Lately I've been reading a lot of your comments that have been left on my profile. Things like, Johnson, I'm worried about you. Your mental health is very visibly deteriorating in front of us. Please seek help. This guy's really gone off the deep end, and I miss when he just reviewed guns and didn't talk about his personal issues. And quite frankly, I don't give a f*** about what y'all think of me. How I live is my choice, and I'm not gonna let a bunch of pansies on the internet tell me how I should go through this. I was there! I served in the raid on Fort Relish! I was there! I still see the steak jets overhead! I saw dozens of my own men die when they released the bread crabs! I close my eyes and I still see their mustard-stained uniforms!
Target sighted, over.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Just the.
Alright, this one goes out to all the real patriots out there. You know who you are.
Nope, that's my cell phone. Huh? What on earth? I hope I get to play one of the band wieners next time.
Have any of you watched Oppenheimer?
Hey y'all, Long Dog Johnson, Gun Reviews, back again. I've received a lot of hate comments after my co-producer released the information about me. I've seen a lot of people talking about things like stolen valor and being an attention whore. Some people have even gone so far as to call me a LARPer. Yes, it's true that I never served. However, I wasn't trying to fool anyone. My intent was to bring to light the tragedies our brave soldiers go through in times of war. My aim wasn't to convince anyone that I was a veteran, but rather to raise awareness about a serious issue. I'm sorry that people had this reaction to what I made, and I promise I'll be more transparent in the future. With that being said, I will still be making new videos, just with some slight changes. My Veteran Plays Escape from Tarkov video series is going to be rebranded to War Enthusiast Plays Escape from Tarkov, and Call of Duty Wednesdays will be released on a bi-weekly schedule as opposed to the current weekly one. Anyways, I hope that clears things up. Make sure to come back next week as I'll be releasing a video on my top 30 tank rounds. Stay floppy!
Yep. What's the worst that could happen? This looks kind of raw. Now we wait. What? It's still raw. Okay, well, I guess we'll just leave that for a little bit. Oh. Yeah, yep. Delicious. Oh, I love sausages. I need to grill some melon. Here, let's get this one. Might have used a little bit too much pressure there. Okay. Yep. Just me, my cold python, and a cold one. Just the way it should be. Alright. Let's clear this out of the way. Alrighty. Yeah, just got my briefcase. Nothing to see here. Where'd I put the fluid? Oh my god, I gotta... Do I need to get new charcoal? Okay, they're all spent. That's great. For God's sakes, I just want to grill some watermelon. Lighter fluid. Where'd I... Okay, yep, okay. Well, we got the food out of the way. Got the barbecue out of the way. I think it's time we get started with the fireworks. Okay, looks like it's not done. Is it done yet? What is going on there? This is a bit underwhelming when you've been playing with heavy artillery for the past few hours. The real strategy is you all use one sparkler. Yeah, to light the next sparkler. Ooh, now the tanks, this is a real firework. See, what you're supposed to do is you light them all so it looks like they're having a little battle. Yes. This is true 4th of July tradition. We're lighting all these off at 5 p.m. Maybe I should have waited until later. It is now 11 p.m. I can't see shit. Is that... Well, and I think I can... Oh good, the melons are back. Ah! Just me, my cold python, and... Did I even... Okay, there was a bottle somewhere around here. Where's the fence? Oh god. Just... Oh! Oh! I've been leaving that one there for a week or two. Hey, I can see again. Hey, Eric, dude, I need you to stand over there, okay? I got a great idea for a YouTube video. Okay, you ready? Alright, here goes! Whee! Why isn't it going yet? Hold on, I got it. Are they bouncing off? He's supposed to be dying violently. Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early light? This is morbid. It is now 11:30. Where did everyone go? It would appear that my table has been stolen. Hold on, I have a very good idea. Alright, we need one of these over here. And we need one of these right next to this. I guess I probably should have lit them before I... Probably should. That didn't feel like $5,000 worth of fireworks. So far away, we wait for the day. Something, don't know the words. We feel the pain of a lifetime lived in 1,000 days. Through the fire and the flames we carry.